Hi guys, Daniel here from Utopia of Geek and welcome to episode 1 of In a Nutshell, where I'm going to get people that maybe don't know about the topics we cover at Utopia of Geek up to speed-ish, so you've got more of an inkling of what I'm talking about. This episode we are looking at Doctor Who, which is brilliant. So, let's get talking about Doctor Who. First aired in 1963, Doctor Who is the longest running sci-fi TV show of all time. Over 800 episodes have been produced over the 50 years, and one of the most iconic parts of Doctor Who is the ability for the main character, a Time Lord called the Doctor, not Doctor Who, to regenerate his body when he is too old or too frail. Now, Time Lords can regenerate 12 times, meaning 13 different Doctors. But, as of Series 8, officially, it will be the 14th Doctor, Peter Capaldi, who is the 12th Doctor. And I'll explain that now. So for a long time, the Doctors were normal. So the first Doctor was played by William Hartnell. The second Doctor was played by Patrick Troughton. The third Doctor was played by Jon Pertwee. The fourth Doctor, played by Tom Baker. The fifth Doctor, played by Peter Davison. The sixth Doctor was played by Colin Baker. The seventh Doctor was played by Sylvester McCoy. The eighth Doctor was played by Paul McGann. And then there was the War Doctor, we'll get back to him in a minute, played by John Hurt. Then the ninth Doctor, played by Christopher Eccleston. Then the 10th Doctor, played by David Tennant. Then the Meta-Crisis 10th Doctor, we'll get back to him as well, also played by David Tennant. Then the 11th Doctor and the 13th Regeneration, played by Matt Smith, who left Christmas last year. And now the 12th Doctor, or the 14th Regeneration, played by Peter Capaldi. So now you know everyone that has played the Doctor. Now let's get back to how there's 14 Doctors but 12 Doctors. Now the War Doctor didn't count because he was a Doctor that fought in a great war called the Time War. Now the Time War was primarily between the Time Lords, of which the Doctor is part of, and their most feared villains, the Daleks, who come from a planet called Skaro, and I will do a whole episode on the Daleks in the future. And basically they dragged in pretty much every other civilization into this war, and it lasted forever, and then the Doctor stopped it. And because the Time War happened between the 8th and 9th Doctors, when Doctor Who was not on air, people assumed it was either the 8th or 9th Doctor that fought in the Time War. But in the name of the Doctor, we found out that there was a secret regeneration, the War Doctor, who fought in the war, and I recommend you watch The Name of the Doctor to understand that a bit better. And then there's the Meta-Crisis 10th Doctor, because the 10th Doctor was shot by a Dalek, spoilers, and then he was going to regenerate. But he was a bit vain and thought, I don't want to regenerate into a new person, why would you if you look like David Tennant? So he put all of his regeneration energy into a spare hand he had. I'm not going to tell you how he gets that, but he has a spare hand of his own. He puts all the regeneration energy into that, and he just heals himself, and that's another regeneration gone. The Doctor is known for his companions as well, and the most famous companion of them all, and the most long companion being right from the first Doctor now until the 12th, 14th Doctor, is the TARDIS. Now TARDIS stands for Time and Relative Dimension in Space, and it looks like a 60s police box from England. It's big on the inside. So the TARDIS looks like a police box, but it's not supposed to look like a police box. Not all TARDISes or TARDI look like police boxes. They have a thing called a chameleon circuit, which is also a trock band. Trock stands for Time Lord Rock anyway. They have a chameleon circuit, which is supposed to blend it in to whatever time period and whatever setting they're in. So for example, if they're in ancient Rome, it might look like a statue, or if they were in the 21st century London, it might look like a phone box or something like that. But what happened was the Doctor landed in 1960s to go in Shoreditch to Cold Hill School, and the chameleon circuit broke, and it stayed looking like a police box forever. And the Doctor did fix it, but then he thought, I prefer the police box, so he broke it again. Now, one thing you need to understand about Doctor Who, and this is very important and it might save your life, is that the fandom of Doctor Who, known as Whovians, not Hoovers, Whovians, are very passionate about Doctor Who. And they have a thing where every Whovian has their Doctor, and mine is the 9th Doctor. The 9th Doctor is my Doctor, and their Doctor tends to be the Doctor that got them into Doctor Who. So mine is the 9th Doctor, played by Christopher Eccleston, but just because it's my Doctor doesn't necessarily mean he's my favourite Doctor. My favourite Doctors are Jon Pertwee, the 3rd Doctor, Paul McGann, the 8th Doctor. And now we're going to get into a whole little subcategory of Doctor Who. Big Finish. Now, Big Finish are amazing, and they make Doctor Who licensed stories based on the classic Doctors, so between the 1st and 8th Doctors. And they are really good, and there's going to be a Big Finish review every week on Utopia of Geek. Every Monday there shall be a Big Finish review, and I'm going to start with the monthly range, with the first one, work the way through. But the Big Finish universe, some people thought it was sort of separate from the actual Doctor Who universe. In a mini episode for the 50th anniversary, called The Night of the Doctor, Stephen Moffat very nicely put Big Finish universe and proper Doctor Who universe together and acknowledged that they were interlinked. So they are officially canon now, so I recommend you go check them out. So to recap very quickly what we have learnt, the Doctor is a Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey. He stole the TARDIS to see the universe. The TARDIS's chameleon circuit got stuck, so it looked like a 60s police box. The Time Lords can regenerate 12 times, meaning 13 regenerations, but the Doctor is now on his 14th, and I won't go into that. And the Doctor was played by William Hartnell, Patrick Troughton, John Pertwee, Tom Baker, Peter Davison, Colin Baker, Sylvester McCoy, Paul McGann, John Hurt, Christopher Eccleston, David Tennant, Matt Smith, Peter Capaldi. And he tends to like Earth a lot, and he always has a companion or companions, and that is all I'm going to tell you this episode. But like I said, there will be an episode in the future where I focus just on the Daleks, because they have a really complex history as well. And anyway, hope you managed to keep up with this. I'm glad I've hopefully got you up to speed. So that was Doctor Who in a nutshell from Daniel. Thank you for watching. Check out utopiaofgeek.com for more content like this weird, fast talky thing. Okay, thank you. See you later. Bye!